Yeah, hi again. So there was some problem in terms of internet, so we had to get those things sorted out. So let me see if some of you are still there, right? And then we will start off. So yeah. So in fact, we would start off from beginning, right? We will see and whether it can really we can go back to that question or not. So let's start as a fresh kind of a question. So we are doing page 186 and we are doing module 2. It's a data interpretation problem, and all of you, I'm sure, were looking at it before we started off. So good afternoon again to all of you. So I would like you to go to page 186 and look at module 2. We are also, I suppose, as Rakshit told me, that we are Facebook Live. So if you are there on Facebook, we were also shared, if just in case you do not have module 2, we have shared 3-4 DI problems of module 2. So we will go ahead with this. Right. Okay. So let us look at the problem. So I'm assuming that all of you were there right at from the beginning. So we had uh, in fact, solved question number 1. The question number 1 was how many people voted in the first round. So the answer was 129 divided by 3, which is 43 people voted in the first round. Now, we are looking at second question. How many votes were cast in the second round? Now, if you see in the second round, if you look at this question, 2 voters in the first round has been eliminated, right? So therefore, these 2 voters, in fact, are now eligible to vote in the second round. So therefore, and if you see the difference between the question of first question and second question, the first question is talking about how many people voted in the first round, and the second question is talking about how many votes were cast in the first round, right? So therefore, number of people obviously 43, and because these 43 people plus 2 persons who were eliminated in the first round, they got added. So now in second round you have 45 people. These 45 people, each one of them, they are voting twice. So therefore 45 into 2, as you rightly, number of you have commented that 90 should be the correct answer. Right? So we will go ahead and we will now look at third question, which is how many people voted in the third round. So obviously this is quite easy because in the third round, in the second round, again, 2 persons have got eliminated, right? So if 2 persons got eliminated in the second round, again 2 more people have got added. So if 2 people have got added, so that means total number of people who voted in the third round would become 47. So a lot of you, very good. A lot of you have commented that 47 is the correct answer. Okay, the fourth question is talking about how many members does the Old Reliables Club have in total. Now, this question is about total. So 43 right in the first round, and 7 candidates for the post of president of Old Reliables Clubs are there. So 43 plus 7 is 50. So that's how you're getting answer as 50, which many of you have commented. So, the first 4 questions where I would call them warm-up questions, right? It is just to understand the problem. So there is nothing in these questions which can really demand too much of yours, right? So we are looking at first 4 questions. The first question is answer is 43. Second question answer is 90. Third question answer is 45, right? 43, 45, 47. And fourth question answer is 50. Good. So I can see a lot of you answering this question. So let's go to now questions which matter a bit. We are going to question number 2. Question number 2, the first question talks about who got eliminated in first round. Now, this is an important question, and we are going to look at it from the point of view of what is happening. So, yeah, so I'm getting some answers. Let me explain. So, in the first round, if you see, we are looking at third last point. In the bullet points, if you see, we are looking at third last point. In the third last point, it talks about top three candidates were Q, V, and P. So therefore, Q, V, and P are not going to be eliminated because we are looking at out of seven candidates, the last two candidates. And these three candidates, since they are the top three candidates, they are going to go to the next round, right? Okay. Then, if you look at the second last point out here, the second last point talks about R received 8 votes more than she did in the first round. Q was 3 votes behind her. And T with 15 votes was in third place. So obviously, anybody who has reached second round, they cannot be eliminated. Otherwise, how will they reach second round? So we are talking about QVP, and then we are talking about R and T, right? So this makes it very clear that Q, V, P, R, and T. These are the five ones, five people who have reached second round and third round. Not third round, but second round for sure. And therefore, the ones who are eliminated, because there is no mention in the question of about U and about S, right? Therefore, your answer is U and S, which many of you have rightly commented. So I'm very happy. A lot of you have got U and S, right? So do you have any problems? If you have any problems in understanding this question, you can put it in your comments. I think I'll be able to look at it and explain again. If you're not putting anything, that means you've already understood this question, right? Let's go to the second question of two, which means who got eliminated in the second round, right? We would use the same logic to understand that who got eliminated in the second round. Now, if you look at who are the ones who have reached third round, I think that will become very easy for us to understand. So in the third round, the last point says R scored the same number of votes as she did in the first round, and it ended up winning the election, and Q finished last in the third round. That makes it very clear that R and Q are definitely reaching third round, isn't it? Because the question itself, the last bullet points is talking about R and Q finishing in the third, R and Q being in the third round. So anybody who's reaching third round would mean that they are not eliminated. If you look at the second last point, it talks about R received 8 votes more she did in the first round. Q was 3 votes behind her, and T with 15 votes was in the third place. And we all know that in the top 3 positions are given, then they are definitely in the second round, right? In the next round. And therefore, we understand that who are the ones who are reaching third round. We are very sure about that R, Q, and T. These are the ones who are actually moving to the third round, and the ones whose name we cannot see out here, that means P and V, they must have finished beyond RQT, and therefore your answer, as rightly mentioned by a lot of you, V and P are the correct answer. So V and P is what I am writing. Okay, so good. A lot of you have got correct answer. So V and P. Now I'm waiting for some time. I think somebody said that I could not understand. I think Diksha is there. She said I could not understand. So I'll try and explain to you. In data interpretation problems, this is an advice for all of you. You need to read the problems. We are not using board today because these problems I've picked up which can be solved without using pen and paper, right? So you just have to use the logic, read the problems properly, you will be able to solve it, right? So let's look at this question again. Who got eliminated in the first round? So what we look at, the third last point. We looked at third last point, and we look at who are the top 3 candidates. So Q, V, and P are the top 3 candidates, right? So therefore, they have to reach second round, and therefore they cannot be eliminated. Then we look at the second last point which talks about R receiving votes, T being there. So obviously QVP is already there, and you have also R and T. So if all of these are there, so five of them are there. So obviously there is no mention of U and S later on, neither in the second round or third round. So we understand very clearly that U and S are the ones who are going to get eliminated, isn't it? Okay, let's go to the second question of two, which is who got eliminated in the second round. We would use the same logic, right? Very same logic, you can look at it. And you can look at that in the third round, R is there. In the third round, Q is there. And since in the second last point it is mentioned, T with 15 votes was in third place, so T has to be there. So if T is also there, which are the ones which are left? P and V is left. So therefore, we can say that our answer to second problem is going to be P and V. So am I clear to you a bit? I don't know. We would be using not using this interface of YouTube and Facebook from Monday onwards. Hopefully, we would have a much better technology. So we are all working on it. So you will not have to really put your data, and all these things. You will not face problems. So we'll use a technology where each one of you and only IMS students will be able to attend these classes. So it will not be open forever. So it's just a matter of 1 or 2 days. It was very sudden, this entire closure. So I thought that why really sit at home? Let's do something. So I think, till that time, till that Sunday, Monday comes, we will keep doing like this. Let's go to third question now. Okay. So the third question talks about how many votes did RSTU manage between them in the first round. That's very easy question to answer because we just need to look at. So rather than that, I would like you to answer this question, right? So please answer this question. Great. A lot of answers are coming up. So is it 63 or is it 66? Yeah, good. 66 because you have 25, 20, and 18. So if you add 25, 20, and 18, it is 63. Now these have got 63, so the rest of them must have got 129 minus 63. So that comes out to be 66. So thumbs up to all of you. Very good. So I got my answer very quickly. Now we go to question number 3B. Right? How many votes did R get in the first round? Now this question you have to think. I will obviously explain, but I'm waiting for a minute for you to answer. How many votes did R get in the first round? So I'm going to wait for 30 seconds more for you to work it out, and then we answer this question. Okay, let's solve. So a lot of you have answered correctly. Some of you have got, you've committed a bit of mistake, but that's fine. I think you will learn through this. So we will think like this. Now, the first question says RSTU managed 66. Yes or no? They managed 66. Now look at first round P vote. Now P votes is 18. Now anybody who's going to get a score, they can't have more than 18. So some of you are answering 19. It cannot be your answer. And the reason is that my answer has to be less than 18 because in the first round, third rank is 18. P with 18 votes. So the first step we are going to do is to remove 19 from our answer, right? Now I have options of 14, 16, and 17. Now, the next thing which we are going to look at is R got eliminated or R is already in the play. So R didn't get eliminated, isn't it? R is reaching the next round. And therefore, R cannot have the least value, isn't it? Now, if R did not get eliminated, now let's look at how we can structure this. Now, R has to be, okay, so let me give you a slightly a better explanation of this. You divide 66 by 2. Now, 66 by 2 is 33. So we understand, in fact, when we solved question number 2A, right? We answered our question 2A is that U and S, I suppose, got eliminated, isn't it? So U and S value has to be always less than the value of R and T. So therefore, R and T has to be always more than 33. That is for sure, because the halfway mark of 66 is 33. Am I getting you? So what I'm trying to say that R and T's position is always going to be more than U and S position, right? So R and T has to be greater than 33, but there is a problem. If R and T has to be greater than 33, then the value of R and T individually cannot be 16 and 16, right? Because if 16 and 16 is there, so it is 32, and therefore 32 cannot be greater than 33. Now look at option. I can't have 16, I can't have 14. So there is only one answer which is left, which is 17. So your value has to be 17. Let me explain to you again. So it is like R and T 17 and 17, which makes it 34, and U and S 16 and 16, which makes it 66. So that's how we can get our answer as 66. So I hope it is still clear to you. What for this one? But ये सब book दिखेगा. उसमें नीचे क्या दिख रहा है? ठीक है. Okay. So right. So I hope it is clear to you. All of you are clear. So yes or no, just put yes, no. So I will understand whether you are there on the same page as me or not. Or if you want me to repeat. Great. So let's go to the next question now. So the next question is, how many votes did R get in the first round? So that is done, 17. We are going to now question number 4A. How many votes did R get in the second round? Now this is a very easy question. Why? Because, yeah, so a lot of you are answering. Because next round, R is getting 8 more than 17. So 8 plus 17 is 25. We are not going to spend too much of time on this. So you just have to read the question. 17 plus 7, 25. A lot of you have answered also. So I'm very happy. Let's go to the next question. So we go to 4B now. How many votes did P and V manage between them in the second round? So I'm giving you a minute's time for you to calculate. We are looking at question number 4B now. How many votes did P and V manage between them in the second round? So please calculate and get back to me on this. So Ashwini has the correct answer. That's very good, Ashwini. So you've calculated it very fast. And the question also doesn't demand it to be very, it should not be that much of time taking. If you look at, you have just answered R has 25 votes. And if you look at the question, in the next round, that means in the second round, Q has 3 votes behind R, right? So you have R at 25, and you have Q less, 3 less, which is 22. So we can add 25 plus 22, which makes it 47. And it is already written that T has 15 votes. So 47 plus 15 is 62. Very good. And we all know from question number 1B that the total number of votes is 90 in the second round. 45 people, 90 votes. So 90 minus 62 is 28, right? And the question is about P and V, manage them between them in the second round. We know that P and V got eliminated, and therefore we know that the ones who are eliminated would carry the rest 28. So absolutely correct. A lot of you got 28 as the correct answer. So any questions? I'm waiting. If you've not been able to understand this question, you can raise it. I'll try my best to explain. So yeah, so I don't think there are any questions now. So I think we will go to the next question now. The next question talks about how many votes did R get in the third round? Okay, I will try to use board, but I don't know whether you will be able to see the board or not. I'm trying. You tell me if you're able to see the board. If you're not able to see the board, I'll just explain to you again. Right. So it is like, so the question is, so R has 25 and Q has 22, 3 less. T has 15 votes. This is 62. Great. This is a good news. All of you are able to see. So this is 62. Second round, 90. This comes 45 into 2. So 90 minus 62 is 28. Am I clear to you? Great. So finally board has worked, it seems. So is it clear to all of you? We can go to the next question now. Good. Why? बोर्ड के लिए for this आप ही आगे कर दीजिए ना. Okay. कर दीजिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ये चला गया. हाँ. Okay, so we are going to go to next question now. We are going to question number 5B. So what is the answer for 5B? You answered also, I suppose 14 is the correct answer for 5B. If you do not understand, I'm going to explain to you. So I'm just, yeah. So absolutely a lot of you are answering. Shalu and Puru, they're answering that 14 is the correct answer. Let me explain to you. So the first step would be to look at, so I think, can I use board? So is it clear to all of you that I can use board? So third round. This is what it is. So third round, Q plus T. between them, because third round the total number of people are, a total number of votes are 47, because the number of people are also 47, right? So, and we will reduce 17, and why we are going to reduce 17 is because we already know that 17 is there. So we are going to reduce 17. So finally 30 votes is what we are looking at, right? We also know that Q got less than T. So Q is less than T. And each one of them didn't have 17. So therefore, the only way which we can distribute is T being 16 and Q with 14. We can't distribute as 15 and 15. 15 and 15 is not possible because Q has to be less than T. 16 and 14 not possible because Q has to be less than T. So the only way you can distribute this 30 is 14 and 16. And therefore, we can say our answer is second option, which is 14. So am I clear? All of you got it also correct. A lot of you answered 14. So I'm really happy. Very good. So this seems to be a working a bit today after 2 days of mini disasters, isn't it? So, okay, let's go to the third question now, which is the last question for today, for this particular set. Okay, so the next question is, sixth question. What is the minimum number of people who should have voted for the eventual runner-up in order to make him the sole winner? Yeah, can you answer this? Okay, so this was a slightly tricky question. You know, in fact, the fight was between 1 and 2. The correct answer should be 1 and not 2, right? Let me explain to you. So it's like, if just one person who had voted for R voted for T instead, R would become 16 and T would become 17. And that is why answer is going to be 4 and not 2. This is a very, very, what do you say, tricky question. So you need to think through this question to get the answer. You just see like this. This was 16 and this was 14. If there is one transfer which happens, one will go down and the other will go up, which is why your answer is going to be fourth option, which is 1. Am I clear to you, or you want me to explain again? Okay, so I'm waiting for the comments. I think all of you have got it, you understood. So we can go to the one. Next question. Okay, the next question we are going to go is, okay, so Keshav is saying again, so I'm going to explain again. Okay, so I'll explain again. Yeah, I'll just try and explain again this question. So so you have 17, 16, and 14, right? Okay, I'm explaining to all of you. Let me try my best. Whatever we can do it on YouTube. I have limited kind of capability to explain to you on board. Had it been in front of you, things would have been much better. But still, let me try. So The question, if you look at it properly, the question says, what is the minimum number of people who should have voted for the eventual runner-up? Right. Who is the eventual runner-up? Now, eventual runner-up is R, in order to make him the sole winner. Now, what we are trying to do is that we are moving this vote. Somebody who voted T will not vote T, right? So if this person moves here, this becomes 16, so which is -1, and this becomes +1. So this entire thing changes. And therefore, with only one movement, one vote coming up and shifting towards this will become 16 and this will 17 and this will become the sole winner. So I hope it is clear to all of you now, right? Let's go to the next set. Let me see which set I'm going to pick up. So we are going to take up the third set. So please go to 2 Psychologist 1. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so we are going to go to third set, which is 2 psychologists, Dr. Alfonso and Dr. Ferreira. Please go to the third set. Please read it. So I'm going to wait for 2-3 minutes for you to solve this question, and then I'm going to explain to you. And we are going to, so 4-5 minutes, nothing is going to happen for the next, I will just give you time. So we are going to look at the third set, which is question number 12 to 19, which is 2 psychologists, Dr. Alfonso and Dr. Farida have come up with a new test. And the test consists of 50 multiple choice questions, each with 5 options, and that is one we are going to look at it, right? So take up 2-3 minutes time, and then we move forward. नहीं Okay, so have you read this now? Let us look at some understanding about the problem. So two psychologists, Alfonso and Ferreira, have come up with a new test, Ferreira Alfonso Intelligence and Logic Test. I think important points are that there are 50 questions. So if there are 50 questions, each question you have 4 marks. So total of 200 marks, right? Now, if you see this, this is your raw score. You add 50 here, 50 marks, and this becomes 250 IQ score. Am I clear to all of you? Okay. Yeah, this is page number 189. Right? So this is the first thing. I hope all of you are clear and the board is also visible to all of you. Great. So 50 questions, 4 marks, 200 marks, raw score, plus 50 marks, 250 marks, IQ score. This is the first thing which you have to keep in your mind, right? And now it talks about that a very important 1, 2, 3, fourth bullet point. If you look at, two people with same score having the same number of questions correct are deemed to have achieved the score in the same way, irrespective of what specific questions they have answered. This is a very important point. And the last point, two people having the same score but with different number of questions correct are deemed to have achieved the score in 2 different ways. These 2 points are very important. You cannot ignore it. So I would like you to reread it. And now we come to question number 12. Right? So I'm removing this now. Okay. Now the question says, what is the minimum IQ score which cannot be possibly achieved? Right? So let's try and understand. Whenever you get a question of IQ score, we can think in terms of raw score. And raw score is 50 less than IQ score. So we are not going to look at options first. First, let's look at what happens if all 50 are correct. Then raw score is going to be 200. Yes or no? If all 50 are correct, raw score is going to be 200. Now, if 49 correct and 1 and 0 unattempted, right? Score is going to be 49 into 4, which is 196. Yes or no? You're clear? Please do tell me. So people who are on YouTube, at least they can comment. I can see that comment, and you can tell me that whether you have understood 49 correct and 0 unattempted. When you are not attempting, in that case, there is no negative marking. So maximum score with 49 correct is going to be 49 into 4, which is 196. Now, here it is very important. You need to understand few things. If 49 correct can give you 196, therefore 198, 197, and 196 are not possible. Right. I'm giving you a minute time for you to think and understand. 198, 197, and 196 are just not possible. Right. And why it is not possible? Because with 50 correct, you have 200. With 49 correct, maximum you can reach 196. So you have to think in your mind that if 197, 198, 198, 199, and 198 and 197 are not possible, we are going to add 50 in each of these. Right? That means 249, 248, and 247. These IQ scores are not possible. Right? And therefore, in your answer, option 251 and 249, you can eliminate 49 from your answer. It is not possible because we know 199 is not possible. So 199 plus 50, 249 is not possible. So that cannot be your answer, right? 248 cannot be your answer. 247 cannot be your answer, right? Now, we are going to move ahead now with 49 correct and 1 wrong. So how much is possible? 196 minus 1, 195. Right? So therefore, we are looking at with 50 correct, 200 is possible. With 49 correct, 196 is possible. With 49 correct and 1 unattempted, 195 is possible. Right? Let's go down now. I'm rubbing from the board. So if you can keep a screenshot or if you can write it down, I'll be very happy because I don't have too much of space on board because of the camera constraints. So therefore, I'm going to rub this off. Right. So I hope you're okay with that if I'm rubbing this. Yeah, Ashwini, we are going to go to the question. Don't worry. Right. We are going to go. Abhi, right now, I have not gone to question at all. So I'm not even answering you the question. I'm only focusing on making you understand few things. Then you will find a lot of questions we will be able to solve through this. Right? So just have some patience. I think you'll understand. And you might have actually done it correct. So I'm not commented on whether the answer is correct or not. Right? I thought that maybe 249 was incorrect, but then I've not looked at the question. So I'll come back to that. Right now, I'm not looking at question. Okay, so what do we know? 50 correct, we know 200. 49 correct, 0 unattempt, 196. 49 correct, 1 wrong, 195. We also know 199, 198, 197, not possible. Okay, let's come to 48 correct now. 48 correct, 2 unattempted questions means 48 into 4 is 192. So 192 is the raw score, right? Okay, that means 194, 193, not possible, right? 48 correct, 1 wrong, 192 minus 1, 191 possible. 48 correct, 2 wrong, 192 minus 2, 190 possible. Okay, keep patience for some time. Keep patience. I'm not answering the question. I'm just explaining you something which will help you. Right? Now let's come to 147 correct, 3 unattempted. So 47 twos are 94 and 94 into 2 is 188. That means 189 not possible. Okay? 47 correct, 1 wrong. 188 minus 1, 187. 47 correct, 2 wrong. 186. 47 correct, 3 wrong. 185. And 46 correct, 0 wrong. 184. And this was my point. If you see, now from here, it has become seamless. Right? Now I think I'm going to the question, and I think a lot of questions you will be able to solve. My main objective was that I should first explain to you how do you really get. Rizwan, you were saying that 239 also not possible. Actually, I've not looked at the question. I'm only explaining to you that when you look at this particular problem, how do you think, right? So the first way to think is that let's look at which are the numbers which are not possible. Now, only once we reach 46 correct, only when we reach 46 correct is when we are understanding that there are many numbers which are not possible. So 199, 198, 197, 194, 193, right? 189. These are the numbers which are not possible. Okay. In fact, what else? We can look at it. Uh, So 188, 187, 186, 185, these are all possible. Now we are going to the first question, right? So what is the minimum IQ score which cannot possibly be achieved? Now, out of these, let us look at first option, 239, right? Now, when it says 239, it means we are going to subtract 239 minus 50. So 239 minus 50 is 189. Now you see on the board it is written 189 is not possible. And the question says minimum IQ scores which cannot be achieved, right? So 189 is actually the least of the IQ scores which cannot be achieved. Look at 249. A lot of you are answering 249. It's not correct, right? Because 249 minus 50 is 199. Now, 199 is not the minimum IQ score which cannot be achieved. In fact, it is the highest IQ score which cannot be achieved, right? So your 249 cannot be your answer. Fourth option is anyway not possible because 201 raw score you cannot have. 251 minus 50 is 201 and 201 raw score is not possible. So it's gone. Let's go to 189. Now 189 minus 50, right, which is 139. So this is actually possible. So therefore you cannot have 189 as this. Am I clear to all of you? So your correct answer is 239. So do comment that whether you have understood or not. I'm waiting for your comments. Yes, Ivanshu. Okay, so shall we go to the next question now? Yeah, we do. Actually, the question is about good. So Vidu, question was about which of them is not possible. So 139 is actually possible, right? Any number which is below 184, they are all possible. So we have to only look at numbers which are not possible, right? Look at question. What is the minimum IQ score which cannot be achieved? 139 is so easy to achieve, right? Let us take up, you have to achieve 35 correct is 140. So with 35 correct and one incorrect, you can actually reach 139, isn't it? So I don't think that's a big deal. So 139 can be done in many ways. So let's go to now question number 13. How many possible different IQ scores could be achieved? Can anybody comment on this? I'm waiting for your answer. So question number 13. How many possible different IQ scores could be achieved? Waiting for your answer. Look at this. So what should be your answer? How many different IQ scores could be achieved? Very good, Puru. In fact, Sresh, Shubham, you missed out one point. Answer should be 251. And the reason is, wow, uh, Preeti is the one which is coming with the correct answer. Even for a second, I thought that what Puru is saying is correct, but no. Right now, Preeti is the one who has got the correct answer. See, there are six numbers which are just not possible. From 0 to 250 IQ scores, there are 251 numbers, right? And then 199, 198, 197, 194, 193, and 189. So there are six numbers which are not possible. So out of 251, you remove six and you will get 245. So 245 is the correct answer, right? Very good. Some of you have got 245, and I hope now you understood why I made you all these things. The reason was that once you understand this, question number 13 becomes very, very easy. So I think we got the correct answer of 245. Is it clear to all of you, or you have any doubts? Great. I think this is also on FB and on Instagram. So if some of you are on Instagram and FB, you can also watch this from that. I understand that some of you have data problems. I've heard that FB takes very little data, so maybe that might really help you out. Right. Good. So I think it is clear to all of you. Himanshu, it should be 251 minus 6. That should give you your answer of 245. We are now going to next question, which is question number 14. Right. Which is the highest IQ score which could be achieved in two different ways? Now, again, I am kind of, waiting for your answer, and then I'm going to explain to you. So I'm giving you a minute's time to answer your question, and then we discuss. So 1 minute time to solve this question, and then we have a discussion. Yeah, Rashmi, I can explain to you once again. It is like this, that total number of IQ score, it starts from 0. You can actually get 0. How do you get 0? By not attempting any question, right? And then you can get 250 by getting all 50 correct. So 50 into 4 is 200, and 200 plus 50 is 250. I hope you understand, from 0 to 250 is 251 numbers, right? It is not 250 because 0 is added. 1 to 250 is 250. 0 to 250 is 251, right? Then out of these 251 numbers, these are the six numbers which we have calculated for right at the beginning, right? 199, 198, 197, 194, and 193, and 189. These six numbers are not possible. Now, because these six numbers are not possible, I am explaining Imanshu again. So because these numbers are not possible, so from 251, we are going to reduce six numbers, and that makes it 245, right? And one very interesting thing I've now noticed, I think online you guys are much more active than offline. In class, you don't ask this many questions. In fact, I'm so happy that you are asking so many questions, right? So that has come as a surprise, and a pleasant surprise to all of you, from all of you to me, because so many of you are responding. I'm really glad to see. And let me tell you, when you ask questions, I'm really, really happy, right? Because finally our interaction makes the entire class useful, and therefore this is something. So on the lighter note, I think you are better off at your home, and I'm better off here, isn't it? In class, it's so much of silence. I really don't like it. Here, very good. So I think I might be doing something really bad in class for you not to ask questions, and maybe here I am better, isn't it? So, okay. So, let's go to question number 14 now. And which is the highest IQ score which could be achieved in two different ways. Now, see the rule, if you see, this is a very important problem. It's a CAT problem, previous year CAT problem. When you get a question, minimum, in question number 12, the question is minimum. We start checking our answer from minimum. When you get a question from highest, we start checking our question from highest. Now, which is the, in question number 14, which is the highest IQ score? Which is 243, right? In fact, some of you have got the correct answer. So 243, you subtract 50. So when you subtract 50, 243 minus 50 is 197. And then you check on the board. You see, 197 is not possible. And therefore, your answer for 243 is not possible. And therefore, you will cut your option of 243. Okay. Let's come to 230 now. Second option. Absolutely, Siddharth. Even I feel the answer is 230. So let's look at the second option, which is 230. Now, what do you do? The first step is subtract 230, subtract 50 from 230. That makes it 180. Okay. Now, so from 230 minus 50 is 180. Now you think like this, how can you achieve 180? One way to achieve 180 is 45 into 4, right? So it's like you actually do not attempt 5 questions and you multiply 45 into 4 and that makes it 180. What is another way of getting 180? The second way of getting 180 is that you attempt 46 questions. So when you attempt 46 questions, you get how much? 46 into 4 times. That makes it 184, right? And you make 4 mistakes. So when you make 4 mistakes, 184 minus 4 is 180. And therefore, you know there is no other way you can get 180, right? So the minimum question you can attempt is 45 and the maximum question you can attempt and get 180 is 146. It is also there on the board. If you see, with 47 questions correct, you cannot possibly get 180. And therefore, because the question is asking of the highest IQ score, we say our answer is 230, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll go to the next question. So we are going to now question number 15. Okay, so let's look at, I'm going to give you 30 seconds for you to read question number 15, and then we are going to discuss question 15. Puru, you need to rework the answer. Yeah, I think Ashwini has got the correct answer. 8 is the correct answer. So maybe you might have done some calculation mistake. But good, all of you are actually, trying and solving it fast. That's a very good thing. Okay, so let's understand. I think I'm going to rub this board now. I hope there should not be any problem. So I'm going to use board by standing. So I'm going to look like zombie for some time. So please forgive me for that. Right. So if you see, how can you get 100? So you can get 100 by, let us take up getting, so first of all, we need to realize that the question is asking about IQ score of 100. Now, IQ score of 100 would mean IQ 100 means raw 100 minus 50. which is 50. Right? Now this is 50 we require. In what way we can get 50? One of the ways in which we can get 50 is 13 correct, 2 wrong, which means 52 minus 2, which is 50. Another way we can get correct is 14 correct, 6 wrong. So 14 into 4 is 56, minus 6 is 50. 15 correct, 10 wrong, which means that 60 minus 10 is 50. It's an AP series now, arithmetic progression series. So 13, 14, 15, 16 correct, 14 wrong. 17 correct, 18 wrong. 18 correct, 22 wrong. 19 correct, 26 wrong. And 20 correct, 30 wrong. 20 and 30 together is 50 questions. You can't go beyond 30, right? Okay. So, in fact, a lot of you have got answers of 8, which is correct, because if you see 13 correct, 2 wrong, 52 minus 2 is 50, 14 correct, 6 wrong, 15 correct, 10 wrong, 16 correct, 14 wrong, 17 correct, 18 wrong, 18, 22, 19, 26, and 20 and 30. Altogether, there are only 50 questions, right? So, in fact, you cannot have anything else. So you need to have a maximum number of 50 questions. So therefore, these are the only ways in which you can get 50 correct. Right. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So answer is 8, which a lot of you have already got it. Right. Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, please ask fast. You can type it down, and then I'll get explain to you again. A lot of you have got it correct. So Ravi Nandan and Ashu, Roshan, Vaishnavi, so many of you, Atul. Atul has written 15 correct, 10 wrong. Yes, which is also correct. Shubham and Ashwini also, Ankita. So all of you have got it correct. So I'm really happy to see that you've got it. So shall I move ahead? Yes, no? Next question. Okay. So we are going to go to now question number 16. If Jenny answered 3 more questions, great, Shresht. So Shresht, on a lighter note, again, you're understanding better away from me than you are understanding in front of me. Right? Okay. So let's go to question number 16. If Jenny answered 3 more questions correctly than Penny, but scored the same IQ score, what is the maximum number of questions Jenny could have answered right? Right. Let's look at this. I think you can use options, and options could be a very good way of answering this question. So I'm giving you 30 seconds, and yeah. So I've already started getting some of you have worked it out. So still, I'm giving you 15 seconds time to work through this question. So 15 seconds. I am taking a break of 15 seconds, and I'll be back after 15 seconds. Okay, so a lot of you have answered. I can see starting from Puru and Ashwini and Ankita and Saksham. Uh, Rizwan, you got it incorrect. Ritik also, 37 is not the correct answer. Roshan got it correct. I don't know who is are thou sleepy, but then you were sleeping on lighter note, so you got 37. Ankita and Ashu got it correct. So we will start with 38 and see how it is happening. So how do we, Jenny answered three more questions than Penny. So you have to imagine that Jenny is 38. So you have to imagine that Jenny is 38. So Penny will become 35, right? Because question says Jenny answered three more questions correctly than Penny, but scored the same IQ score. So how do you get the same IQ score? So let's understand 35 into 4 is 140, right? And here, if somebody does 38 correct, because the question is talking about Jenny answered three more questions than Penny, but scored the same IQ score. Now, what is the maximum number of questions Jenny could have answered correct? Now, so we are imagining that Penny actually attempted 35 and Penny got all 35 correct. That means 35 into 4 is 140 and there are no negatives here. And here what we are assuming that 38 into 4, which makes it 76 into 2, which makes it 152. So 152 we are getting correct and 12 wrong. So we are imagining that Penny got 12 wrong. So 152 minus 12 will also make it 140. In this manner, when the question says, if Jenny answered three more questions correctly than Penny but scored the same IQ score, what is the maximum? And again, because the question is asking about the maximum number of questions, and therefore we are starting with 38, right? Many of you have answered 37. You might actually get even with 37, but the question is, as I told you earlier, if the question is asking maximum, go for maximum, right? So you start with 38. If you don't find 38 as a correct answer, then you go to 37. Now let's quickly answer question number 17, 18, and 19. So question number 17, if Denny answered 41 questions, which of the following could be his IQ score? Yes. Yeah, good. So some of you are getting correct answer, in fact. So let me explain to you this question, right? So Denny's, let us take up what could be Denny's maximum score. Denny's maximum score could be 41 into 4 plus 50. That is 164 plus 50. That makes it 214. So Denny's maximum score is 214, right? Then the question talks about, if you look at the question, it talks about which of the following could be his IQ score. Now, what could be his IQ score? Every time he's getting incorrect, his marks is decreasing by 5. 4 for correct answer, Right. Okay. 4 for correct answer and 1 for negative. So basically, for every one question which Denny is making it incorrect, his score is getting down by 5 marks. Right? And therefore, we can write 5 into n, which means whichever option is going to be the answer, it has to be 214 minus 5 into n. Now, if you look at the options, I think that makes it very clear. There is only one option which will give you the option of 214 minus 5n, which is 124. And therefore, which many of you got it correct, answer is 124. If you've not understood this, I will change my method and maybe I'll come up with a second method and I'll explain to you. So you need to comment whether you've been able to understand this or not. Okay, so I'm getting some of the no's. Let me explain to you and try. I'll try my best to explain again. So let us try and see that x plus y is equal to 41. Now x is number of correct and y is number of incorrect, right? Yeah, so this way we can look at it because there are some no's. So I'll explain this question again. Now if you see, so you have number of correct is x and number of incorrect is y. Now with every correct, I'm going to get 4 marks extra, right? So I'm going to get 4x. And with every incorrect, I'm going to get negative mark, which is 1 mark. So if I'm getting 1 marks incorrect for, suppose there are 10 incorrect, so I will get 10 minus. So I'm putting 4x minus y. Now 4x minus y should be equal to, right, the options which are given out here. Now let us look at first is that I'm putting, let's put, because the question is about IQ score. So I am putting first an IQ score here and I'm saying that, okay, x plus y is 41. So 41 into 4, which is 164, right? Now let us look at first option, which is 219. Suppose if I put 219 and we add these. Now plus y minus y will get cancelled. 5x is equal to 9 plus 4, 13, 7 plus 1, 8, and this is 383. X is equal to 383 by 5, not an integer. Now the number of correct answers should be integral value. You cannot have 2.7 as an answer. You cannot have 6.8 correct questions, right? And therefore, what you will do, the option which will give you divisible by 5 would become the correct answer. So you can actually use this option in this question option and answer the question. For example, let me remove this and make it 147. So if you add 7 and 4, it becomes 11. 11 is not divisible, 1 is not divisible by 5, and therefore it cannot be an answer. Now, let us change this and make it 124, right? You keep changing this and you will find that one of the options, which is 124, 1, will get divisible by this, and therefore your answer will be this. So I think this is the way you can go and get your answer. This is the best way, right? So let's go to question number 18 now. Okay, so we are now on the last 2 questions for today. So we will look at only these 2 questions and finish off the session for today. So the next question is, which IQ score can be achieved in maximum number of different ways? We will not put too much of time. We understand. If you look at the first IQ score, which is 0, yeah. So 0 means minus 50 raw score, right? And minus 50 लाने के एक ही तरीका, that you attempt all 50 questions and you get all wrong. So you will get minus 50. So this is your raw score. The next one is 50. Now 50 is 50 minus 50 is equal to 0 raw score. Right. And we all know that laddu लाने के बहुत सारे तरीके. So many of you are getting wrong. Many of you are getting wrong answer. I explained why it should not be 0. Because 0 IQ score means minus 50 raw score. And minus 50 लाने का बस एक ही तरीका है, and that is all questions incorrect. That means only one way of getting that. So therefore your answer 0 should not be there. Now if you see, to get raw score of 0, this would be your answer. Reason being, there are many ways of getting 0. One way of getting 0 is you don't attempt any question. Second way of getting 0 is 1 correct, 4 wrong, 2 correct, 8 wrong, 3 correct, 12 wrong, 4 correct, 16 wrong, and so on. So you know that it is absolutely, there are a number of ways. I have not calculated how many ways, but there are many more ways. If you look at third question, 100, we already calculated in question number 15 that there are 8 ways of getting 100, right? So in fact, some of you are commenting 100. It is not correct, because there are only 8 ways of calculating 100, which we have already done in question number 15. Here, there are more ways of calculating zero raw score. 100 of raw score means 50 of 100 of IQ score is 50 raw score. Here we can do this in many more ways. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, it will go much beyond 8. So therefore 100 should not be the correct answer. 150 or bhi kam hoga, because 100 IQ score lane ke there are less number of ways, right? So I think many of you got confused in this question. If you still you've not understood, you tell me. But I think you should look at the board, right? Board makes it very clear that how many ways. You can take this forward and you will understand that the number of ways for getting 50 is much higher. I'm waiting for your comments. If some of you have not understood, please comment. If you've understood, that's great. So this is the last question we are looking at for today. And page number 188 we are going to do in the next class. That's tough. I need to use board and I need a lot more time. But I will suggest you to kind of solve at home 188, and that will be much better. Right. Great. So now you have understood. Let's go to question number 19 and the last question for today. What is the highest score that can be achieved in 3 different ways? So again, the question is highest, right? So you start with 240. Now you subtract 240 minus 50, which is how much? 190. Now we already understand that for 190, there is only how many ways of getting 190? I think there is only one way of getting 190, isn't it? 45, how much? 46 correct. And so that will make it, no, in fact, 49 correct, 48 correct. Maybe, can you get 190? Just check. Right at the beginning I had said. So max one time, in one way you can get 190, not beyond that. So fourth option is a wrong answer. We start with fourth option and then we go to 210. Now 210, as most of you are commenting, that it is the correct answer. So let me explain. 210 minus 50 is 160. Now 40 correct, no attempts, gives us 160. 41 correct, that makes it 164. And 4 incorrect and rest of them not attempted, that will give us 160. 42 correct, that means 42 correct would become 168, right? And 8 incorrect, that will give us 160. So as rightly commented by all of you, the answer is 160, right? So I think I've consumed a lot of data of yours. So let's stop this class now. In the next class, I would like you to solve page 188, which is the problem of ABCD are the lead actors and PQRS are the lead actresses of Daily Soap shown. This is a very good problem and lot to be understood. As I have told you earlier, these classes are also going to be within IMS, but I think it's a good idea to solve and solve some good questions. So we have solved some two really good set today, and hopefully, you're able to understand. And today was a better experience. But really good to see you all, and my good wishes to all of you. Keep working hard and utilize this time. Right. Okay. So Siddharth, I must confess. Okay, Ashwini, live classes from Mumbai, you will get information by Monday. In fact, I'm not too sure. By Saturday, maybe you will get some information from Bombay. But, so Ashwini, you are going to a bit disappointed. It is a reverse traffic which is flowing now. So, I might be actually taking a class sitting here in Patna for Bombay people, right? So, you might again, get a bit disappointed. I'll be the one who might actually take all your classes, even when live classes starts from Mumbai, right? So, let's, let's wait for what is happening. The best case scenario would be that till 31st, we do all these things. And then after 31st, we are able to really, uh, kind of continue with our proper classroom. So thanks a lot to all of you. And you will get a message today itself about next class, right? Hopefully, you will do your homework. So definitely this ABCD, the lead actors, is a homework. That's a very good problem. And from there, you can learn a lot of things, right? So hopefully that you will be able to manage. And then today itself, we are going to give you the number of pages. Siddharth said about English. So English it doesn't require board also. So I'll be very happy to discuss one or two reading comprehension passages with you. So we will do that, right? So English is very easy actually to really do through this medium. So even if my voice comes to you, you don't require board, I'll be able to manage. So I'll try and do some one reading comprehension and maybe one or two DI, right? Thanks a lot. So, see you soon. Take care.